2021 was It Takes Two. And I gotta be honest, just as Ubisoft getting the game nominated is a shocker, it was a shocker for EA to have a game nominated, let alone the Game of the Year. But then again, let's look at these nominees, this competition. Deathloop, another roguelike, Ratchet and Clank, which I am fond of, another fucking Nintendo game. This is showing a pattern, goddammit. Metroid Dread, and this is the 2D one, Resident Evil Village, and Psychonauts 2. I gotta be honest. Like, I'm at a loss for words because when this game won, I was like, what? Just for full disclosure, this game is made by Joseph Faros. I can't remember the name of his company, but he makes co-op games, which I do love and enjoy, but he makes co-op games where you have to play in co-op. Me and my cousin, we played No Way Out. I think it was the first one with the two guys in the prison. We didn't play this. The story and the premise for this, I just didn't feel. I was like, okay. Ratchet and Clank, I did enjoy and play this one, a third-person shooter, PlayStation first party, so I took advantage of all the little haptic feedback in the controller. Psychonauts 2, I haven't gotten around to it, and of course, Resident Evil Village, I didn't get into it
Oh,
until
you
they added the
didn't?
third.
Oh,
Hold
okay.
on, that's what I'm saying. I didn't get into it until they added the third-person mode.
Yeah.
This was Capcom bringing the series back from the brink of death, and they went with the first-person shock value post-PT era. They realized the sales could be more if you tapped into the people who enjoy the original third-person as game. So I was like, hey, we're going to add third-person to it now. Full disclosure, this is also why the upcoming Resident Evil 9 has first and third person built into it from the ground up, because they kept adding that later on, and they're like, you know what, we can cater to both audiences. And to be honest, you really can if you just do it right. If I had to really pick, I would give it to Ratchet and Clank, only because I like
Huh?
third person shooters. And yeah,
Okay, you going off the rails.
this is my opinion. So I didn't play Psychonauts 2, and Psychonauts 2 is a 3D action platformer. If I remember correctly, that series goes. It does have other stuff going on with it. I damn sure didn't play Metroid Dread, side scroller 2D thing, and Nintendo. Like I said, the Resident Evil thing, I didn't get to that till later on. I damn sure didn't play Deathloop. It was first person and it was roguelike, so I didn't like either one of those aspects. And the whatever story they had going for it was confusing. You were some bounty hunter, something, and then there was like this angry who was hunting you down while you were hunting other people. Which to me, at first, I was like, ooh, awesome, cool, okay. I was willing to overlook the first personness. And then, oh, hey, it's a roguelike. Oh, I'll go with Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. But you know what, also too, why I also picked that? This was PlayStation, how can I put this? This was PlayStation showing off the SSD that they put into the new system. How it was instantaneously loading new levels with those rifts backwards and forwards with no loading screen, just pure instantaneous. And I ain't gonna lie, I enjoyed that. Just as we talked about in our game report cards of the PlayStation and the Xbox, the little quirks that make the systems, So that's why I went with that. I feel the judgment already coming. It's in the
Yeah,
comment section. It's just every fucking where.
this is listen, there's no consistency in who they picked to be nominated, because I'm just like, I'm really surprised Halo wasn't a part of this year, but
Mm-hmm.
Deathloop, like, sorry, I don't know who you are, and I don't know what you're about. And I'm not even trying to be funny. I legit, I don't even remember Deathloop. So
You sound like Thanos. I don't know who you are.
I'm sorry, not sorry. I guess my cousin didn't push you hard enough for me. I mean, Ratchet and Clank, honestly, I think sometimes they pick games where they're kind of like, oh, we didn't give you no shine the first time, so this time around with your sequel, we'll give you shine. And I kind of felt that way with It Takes Two, because honestly, I would have went for his first game being nominated over this one personally. Maybe because it's just, my preferences, but it's not to say it's not a good game. I'm not saying it sold really, 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 really well. I mean, I
Yes,
think
it did.
to this day it's at 23 million copies sold, and so
Oh damn!
obviously
I didn't know it was even that big.
yeah, obviously, I mean, the fact that it's keep making sales each year, obviously he did something right, and I'm not saying that it's not good enough to be nominated, but honestly, I would have went The Village, and it was very successful when it came out. I think it did like 10 million sold first like I don't know, a couple months or something. But I just like honestly, out of all the stories that, Ratchet and Clank, Metroid, and I don't even know who you are nuts to. The story kind of did it for me for the village, for those that don't know. It got really positive reviews when it came out. You're searching for your kidnapped daughter, some tragedy strikes his family. He goes on this whole thing of mystery and traveling across Europe, and it's filled with some fascinated enemies and stuff like that. I just felt like it was a better overall experience for me personally over It Takes Two, and yeah, Ratchet and Clank, get out of here. And so for that reason, and a lot of people do agree with my feelings because I remember this year and a lot of people was kind of upset that the village didn't win. And I felt like this was one of those years where they got a lot of pushback for the game that won over, what they really thought should have won. And like I said, a lot of people felt like Halo should have been nominated over these other people that I don't know of. Yeah, for
Mhm.
me, 2021, this is during the vid and all that. So, maybe that went into some voters, mental process or something. I don't know. Sometimes I question if the people that's actually picking game of the year actually play these games and how much did they play these games? Because, like I said, I felt like
That's
the
a good
village.
question
Yeah, I felt like the village should have won.
because
Honestly.
my whole thing when It Takes Two won, this is a game you have to play with someone
Yeah.
else. You cannot play this on your own. And you telling the numbers that it made, I'm shocked it sold that much. I'm like, yo, really? Because
I
that's
mean,
that's crazy. Now one thing I will say, he is smart with how he makes games because the next game he made, that's in the running for game of the year this year. We'll get to that. But if I remember correctly, every copy of the game has like a friend pass. So both two
mhm.
people don't need to buy it, just one, and you can share. So he is smart with that. I'll give him that. I was confused, like how did this, let alone an EA game, and let alone a game you have to play with someone else. So I wholeheartedly agree with you. Like, yo, who is playing these? How much and how? This year was kind of like an oh, nothing that big. So we just got some stuff we just
Yeah.
throwing out.
Yeah, we just throw some shit, hope it
Yeah,
sticks.
we showed some indie love. Hey, this is what we got for this year.
But one of the benefits that it takes two in No Way Out has, and probably why it does sell so much, that whole little thing he did at the Game Awards.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
I think people go out of their way to support his products, and too his products, as we complain about the cost of games going up and up and up, this game was only $39.99 when it came out. And I believe No Way Out was either $29.99,
I think it was
it was either
30.
30 or 40. Yeah, it was one of them, or
Yeah.
20, something, I don't know. It was really, really, really affordable. So I think that's another reason that he gets overabundance amount of support per project that he puts out. And rightfully so, because he went out of his way to shit on EA and anybody that has nasty practices in gaming. And, he calls them out. He calls it like he sees
He
it.
does.
And a lot of people feel the same way. And they felt the same way back then. And I'm pretty sure those same people feel the same way right now. So, hey, listen, I just felt like his first product probably should have been the one that's nominated. And it's like I said, it's a preference. I feel like the village should have won.
And that's it for this video of Are You Not Entertained podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell so you'll never miss our next hot take. Until next time, are you not entertained?